Hello and welcome to another video session of geekvale. In this video lecture, we're going to talk about graphs, that is, what are graphs, some plotting techniques, that is, how to plot them, how to locate a specific point, and how to plot graphs, rectangular coordinate system, and obviously the basis to that, which you call the real line. Alright, let's get rid of that. First thing first, the graphs. The graphs are actually what you can say is the pictorial representation of some kind of data or a relationship. For the understanding of a mathematical relationship, that is what you call a function as well, you can look into the lecture about functions. Alright, the first thing that we need in order to plot graphs is the function. That's what you can make sure of. I want to start about graphs and how to plot them by first looking into the tool that we need to plot graphs, that is the rectangular coordinate system. And for that, I want to go into very basic thing which you call the real line. Alright, so the real line, I'm sure a lot of folks over here are already aware of what a real line is, but how about a bit of revision from the past? The real line represents number. The number starts from some place that we don't know of, right? They are starting from a point we don't know where they begin, so we call it minus infinity. And then they start to become bigger. Remember, in negatives, the bigger a number is, the smaller it is actually. So they start to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until they reach these three. Okay, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Now, one very important thing, when we are talking about real line, that represents real number. That means between 0 and 1, there can be infinitely many possible real numbers, like 0.1, 0.001, 0.00001. We don't know, okay. The center of the real line is 0, and then the number starts to grow again. 3, 4, etc., 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 etc. They become bigger and bigger until they reach a point we don't know of, and that's what we call infinity again. Now, if you look at the real line, this is actually the horizontal version, what you can say. What if we have a vertical version of the real line? It would look something like that. The center again of the real line is at 0. As we go up, we get positive numbers, and they are increasing up to a point we don't know of. And as we go down from 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. What if we combine these two, the horizontal and the vertical version of the real line? We will get something like that. First of all, a horizontal real line with a center at 0. Then a vertical real line with a center of 0. Now let's combine them and see what we get. There we go. These two zeros intersect each other, right? And this point, okay, we're going to look into that later. This system of those two real lines, the horizontal and the vertical one, the combination of these two is what you call the rectangular coordinate system, the two-dimensional system, and another very important name. I'm going to go to that later. Rectangular coordinate system, you call it that, or you can call it the two-dimensional plane as well. Or you can also call it the two-dimensional coordinate system as well. Okay? Alright, the horizontal version has now been given a new name, and that's what you call the x-axis. This whole thing is called the x-axis, and the vertical version is called the y-axis. Now, if you see, they are both intersecting at the center point, where both are 0. That's what you call the origin. The right side of the horizontal version of this line, the real line, the horizontal version of the real line, the right side of that is called the plus x-axis, whereas the left side is known as the minus x-axis. Similarly, the vertical version of the real line, the upper side is known as the plus y axis, and the lower half, what you can say, is what you call the negative y axis. Now let me draw it again for you. So this is what we know so far: horizontal and the vertical version, and where they intersect is called the origin. The horizontal version is called the x-axis. The right side of the horizontal version is called the plus x. The left side of the horizontal version is called the minus x. Similarly, the vertical version of the real line, the upper side is what you call the plus y-axis and the lower side is what you call the minus y-axis. If you look closer, can you see there are 4 regions? Right? Isn't there? And that's what we call quadrants. Quadrants. Now this one is called the first quadrant. This is what you call the second quadrant, third, and fourth. Now, very important thing, in the first quadrant, if you look, we have both x and y plus. In the second quadrant, x negative, y positive. Now let me write it down for you. X negative, y positive. In the third quadrant, look, both negative, x negative, y negative. In the fourth quadrant, if you look, there we go, x positive, y negative. And going back to the first one, I didn't write it down, it was plus x and plus y. Now, any specific point, I'm talking about point in a two-dimensional plane, in a rectangular plane, or now we can give it the new name that I told you earlier. We're gonna give it a new name later on when we got this concept, is called the xy plane, or you can also call it the xy coordinate system. I'm just gonna go with the word CS, xy coordinate system, not Counter-Strike, not computer sciences. Okay, so any point in this rectangular coordinate system, the xy plane, the xy coordinate system, consists of 2 coordinates, like the coordinates of your GPS, like the coordinates of a location, right? So they consist of the x coordinate and the y coordinate, and these 2 coordinates together, they give location to a point. For example, someone has a location of 2, 3. GPS tracker, please locate this location 2, 3 in the rectangular coordinate system. Aye, sir. 1, 2, 3. Now look, x is 2 units. We know that this is plus x. So plus x is along the right side here, horizontal one. So we'll look into this line. Now, what is y? Plus 3. Where is plus 3? There it is. So we'll look into this line. Where these 2 intersect, that is our location. Location tract 2, 3. Or you can call it point 2, 3. The point 2, 3, or the point with the coordinates x2, y3 is located over here. Alright? That's how you can locate points in the coordinate system, or the xy coordinate system, or the rectangular coordinate system, or the two-dimensional plane. You can also call it that as well.